So we did a crazy thing today. What do we do, bud? I called the doctor and I got an appointment for a consult for a frozen embryo transfer, which is not till the end of July. But I knew my doctor is always booked out really far. If you remember, if you've been following me the entire journey, my original appointment for my IVF, I scheduled it in January, like the very first week of January. So we won the grant in December. The first week of January, once we got everything squared away with the grant, is when I called the doctor, and my appointment wasn't until the end of May. And then they were able to, the doctor felt bad that I had won this grant and that they had pushed me out so far. So she wiggled me in and got me in February. Anyway, so I'm just letting you know that's how far out my doctor was. I booked it in January and didn't get it. It wasn't scheduled till May. So I knew she would be scheduled far out. So I called today. End of July. We'll be going in. We'll see what she says. He'll be 5 months. And I don't know anything. I don't know anything about a frozen embryo transfer. I don't know about like what kind of medications I'll be on, because the embryo is already there. It's just kind of like a matter of preparing my body. Holy cow. We're gonna do it again. Do you want a sibling? Yeah, you do. You want a brother or a sister. And apparently I want kids. Like 2 kids under 2 or something. I have no regrets about it. I mean, in a year, when all's said and done or something, year and a half, ask me. I mean, I can't say I would ever regret it. It just might be really hard. It's not, it will be really hard. Not might. It will be really hard, but I want my family here. Huh. We waited long. I'm ready for it. I'm ready for my family to be here. I'm ready to start raising babies. Because look how cute they are and chunky. Guess where we are?
Dun, dun, dun.
Back at the fertility clinic. Holding a baby this time, which seems bizarre, but we're here to figure out what's next. We've never done a frozen embryo transfer before, so we're gonna figure it all out. Hopefully, I'm not really ready, but we're gonna get some details before we decide on the date of when we want to do this. So, but carrying a 5-month-old baby through a fertility clinic is quite awkward. Luckily, there weren't a lot of people in the waiting room, so let's do this, Mike. Let's do this. Hi. Luke's learning to sit up, aren't you, Betty? He's getting really pretty good, actually. I mean, he can't sit up on his own, but he seems to sit better when he's on soft surfaces. But he loves sitting up. He loves to practice, huh? You are so cute. Yes, you are. You want to tell him how much you love to sit up? So we got back from our appointment today. And got some information. We went to the appointment just to get the information kind of on the timeline of like how everything works, because I've never done a frozen transfer before. That doesn't necessarily mean we're gonna jump right into it. We kind of are talking about, Mike and I are trying to talk about when we want to do all this, but the doctor said the whole process will take about 7 to 9 weeks from like the day I start to the day of the transfer. So that kind of gives us a better idea of like what, when you know, we don't really know what we're doing still. Huh, buddy? We still don't know. Yeah. She did say I could continue breastfeeding through the process, but just to know that the birth control that they put you on, they put you on birth control before you do a transfer, that could lower my milk supply. So that could make it so I'd have to stop breastfeeding, which if I were to get pregnant, I would stop breastfeeding anyway, because that's what I choose to do. But I'm not really ready to not breastfeed quite yet. So therefore that kind of makes it hard for me to decide, and I don't know when I'm gonna be ready. I don't know, it's hard. And the doctor's like, it's okay, they're frozen, they're not aging, they're not going anywhere. But at the same time, I know that, but I don't want to have babies old. I'm already much older than I wanted to be when I started my family. So it's just, the whole thing's just kind of tricky, trying to figure out when we should do this whole thing, and you know. Huh, buddy? Plus, I don't know if I can handle another little wiggle worm quite yet. We're so wiggly. Hi. But we're still a ways out. We're just trying to figure out how everything will come together in the end. And so now it's just, now that we've done our consultation, now it's just a matter of when we decide to do it, we just send off an email and say we're ready to go. And then they get the ball rolling. So that's crazy. The reason we made our appointment is because our doctor is just always booked so far out that we wanted to get in as soon as we could, just so we could figure out what the timeline was, and it just happened to be when we got in. So my heck, the idea of being pregnant again is crazy to me. The idea of him crawling is crazy to me. And it's just like around the corner, I know. Well, it would be around the corner if we actually put him on the ground. But this kid likes to be held. Huh. You moved. The Bumbo's not holding you up anymore. Or the Bumbo, the Boppy. Well, those names are so similar. Oh, burp. Hi. You're going to spit up? Ooh, yuck. Look at those cute face. Look at this cute face. Hi. Anyway. Guess we're gonna have another baby at some point. She said that, we asked her about the quality of what we've got left, so we've got 8 left. She said that we have 3 that are about equal to the quality of what his embryo was, and then the rest of them just kind of are a little bit poorer quality. Not to say that they wouldn't work, but just not quite as good. So we've got 3 pretty good chances, assuming everything goes well. This is stressful. Are you gonna talk? Hi. Anyway, that's the latest and greatest. Oh, you're going to suck on my shirt. And he loves to suck on fabric. Is that normal? I think it is normal. I had a nephew that loved to suck on his blanket. Fabric, he'll suck on his birth cloths, he'll suck on my shirt, he'll suck on his clothes. Everything, huh, buddy? You're the sweetest. You're just the sweetest little guy. Hi. You're just the sweetest little guy. So I just took a pregnancy test because getting ready to start birth control for the frozen embryo transfer. And it's crazy to like take a pregnancy test when you haven't been able to get pregnant naturally for years. You're supposed to just start the birth control on day 3 of your period, but because I'm nursing, I haven't had a period, so I need to take a pregnancy test. But it's kind of fun, even though I probably am not pregnant. It's still exciting. You still kind of get those nerves. So let's read the results. Just in case I'm pregnant. That's a hard no. Definitely not pregnant. There's definitely only one line on that pregnancy test. So, not pregnant. That's okay. I didn't really expect to be. I hoped I would be pregnant naturally, but definitely didn't expect to be pregnant naturally. So, we'll start birth control. I have to go pick it up. Oh, I missed the garbage can. To go pick it up probably today, and then we'll start it. And then I know I have to be on the birth control for at least 2 weeks before I can have my transfer, but the doctor told me it's like a 7 to 9 week process before I have the transfer. So I'm not really sure what takes so long, other than I do have to have another saline sonohystogram, and then they do a mock transfer, whatever that means. I didn't have a mock transfer the first time I did IVF, so I'm not really sure what that's all about. It's something about the uterine cavity. I have to check it out, make sure everything looks good. So anyway, not pregnant, but hoping to be pregnant before the end of the year. So I went and picked up the birth control for a frozen embryo transfer, and the instruction from my doctor was start taking it after you take a pregnancy test, start taking the birth control, and then call us. We'll get your transfer scheduled, we'll get your saline sonohystogram scheduled, we'll get all these things scheduled. Just pay for it, you know, all the things, whatever. And I don't know why, but I haven't done it yet. And it's been like weeks since we were gonna start. It's been a month. We were gonna start a month ago, and I haven't started yet. And I don't know if it's like I'm just being like lazy and just haven't called the doctor, I haven't gone around to it. I don't know if I'm scared to be pregnant again, or if I'm just not ready to have another baby. I don't know if it's God telling me it's not your time yet. I don't know what it is, but I have not done it. And it's literally as simple as making a phone call, and I just can't get myself to do it. And it kind of breaks my heart because I want to have another baby so bad, but at the same time, it will be stressful, but that's not gonna change. I mean, it doesn't matter how long I wait. This amount of stress that will put on me is not gonna change. But I don't know. I can't figure out what's going on. I mean, we'll do it, but now I'm not quite so sure. Before it was, I will be pregnant by the end of the year. I will be pregnant by the end of the year. And now it's I might be pregnant by the end of the year, sort of a thing. But now I'm starting to think about like, okay, well, if the transfer works, then the baby would be born in X month, you know, whatever month that might be. And at this point, we're looking at like next fall. I'm like, do I want to have a baby in the fall? Because it's like leading right into 6th season. And you know, for years and years and years, it's kind of like you take a baby when you can get them. But when you can kind of schedule when your babies are born, you're going to like, you're gonna do it when it fits right with how you want it to fit. And because I can kind of do that now, it almost feels a little selfish, just because I never was able to do that before. But I'm just kind of like, do I want to have a baby in the fall? I was already so paranoid having Luke in February and still being kind of flu season. And you know, I stayed home like for 3 months straight. And now I'm like, ooh, that would be like double the amount of time I would be stuck in my house. Oh my gosh, I don't know. I'm just hoping that once Luke starts sleeping a little bit better, I really think that that's a big part of why I feel the way that I feel. Once Luke can start sleeping a little bit better, maybe I'll be okay getting pregnant again. And I realize that a pregnancy is 9 months, and so by the time the baby came, Luke will probably be sleeping just fine. But being pregnant is exhausting enough. And I need to get good sleep while I'm pregnant too. Not just when I have a new baby. I don't know. I don't know what to do. It kind of makes me sad. And I asked Mike, what are your thoughts? And he's sweet. He's just like, honestly, it doesn't really matter to me. He's like, but I'm not here all day long. He's like, it's you that it really adds stress to. So, I don't know what we'll do. And every day I'm like, I'm gonna make that phone call today, and then I don't. I mean, it's gonna happen eventually, but I just don't know when.